This presentation is on FamilySearch web indexing. So what is indexing? A record is born at the time of the event. It is stored at various places like a courthouse, church, homes, historical societies, and so forth. FamilySearch comes along, copies a record, and makes a backup and stores it in a safe place. FamilySearch then scans the image and puts it online. But the record needs to be readable and searchable online. We have billions of records that are available for people to search, but they cannot get to those records. To make those records available, we need millions of volunteers like you. With your help indexing, we can make those records available to all those who are searching for their ancestors. You can go directly into indexing from FamilySearch and start indexing on a computer or tablet, wherever you can get internet service. They don't have it perfected on the phone yet. It is a little small to work from. Once you sign into FamilySearch with your username and password, click on the word indexing at the top. There are 4 areas you can choose to go into. This is the overview page. You can go ahead and choose a project from here, or try a guided tour, or get help, or learn more about indexing. Web indexing is the main page you're going to go to start indexing. You can find a batch to do, see the batch you're working on, open a batch to continue working on it. You have 6 days to complete a project, and then it automatically goes back to someone else to finish if you didn't get it done. On the right are tips and tricks. You can see your progress here, or you can find a group or create a group, say if you want to have a competition, or you can see how many records have been indexed in your ward or stake. On this page under web indexing, click on Find Batches. You can sort by level of difficulty and language. Under this drop-down arrow, you can choose other filters if you desire. If I were to choose Oregon marriage records, it tells me they are in English and beginning level of difficulty. I can see what percentage of the records have been indexed also. If I wanted to index this, I would simply click on Index and a batch of images would come up. Under Find a Project tab, you can sort by clicking on either a country or a project. Below are new indexing projects. Choose a country by clicking on the orange circle. Here's a sample of what you might see, and you can view project details here. If you knew the project name or language, click here and insert it in the Search Projects bar. The Help Resource page looks like this. This basic indexing guidelines gives excellent information on the general specifics of indexing. You can get handwriting helps here. You can see articles on indexing here. There are some terms we need to know and understand when indexing. A batch is a group of images that can be indexed in about 10 to 30 minutes. Sometimes a batch will be referred to as a project. An image is a page. Records are the people listed on that page. This is an image. It is one of 4 images. The image you are working on is highlighted in blue and seen above. Records are the 6 people you see here. There are 6 records in this image. An image can have 1 record or many records, as in a census. This image only gave me 4 forms. I need 2 more since there are 6 people. Click here or here to add more record forms. If they had given me more than 6 record forms, I could click here to delete the extra forms. Before you begin indexing anything, you need to read over the project instructions found here or here, as each project is different. You also need to read the field help instructions found here. You are simply filling out the form on the left with the information on the right. Clicking on the question mark will bring up an information box about this particular line. The question mark will move down as you index and give you information on each line as you go to fill out each record on the image. You can hit Tab on the keyboard to move to the next line. Here are 2 places you can tell how many images you have. Here and here. Notice we are on the second image of 4 as highlighted in blue. This particular image has 7 records or people on it, but the program only gave me 3 record forms, so I can add more records by clicking here or here. This might seem like a lot of rules, but once you have done it 1 or 2 times, you will be familiar with the project and you won't have to read all the information over again. Another thing to be aware of, please do not type all the letters in caps. When arbitrators go through the checks, they are told to discard the records typed all in capital letters, rather than do it over again, even if the information was correct. The first letter in a name or place is automatically capitalized, but use lowercase letters for the rest of the word. When you first open a batch, on step 1 they will ask, should this image be indexed? Some have become a little confused over this question. Apparently the computer can't read the writing to see if it's readable or applicable. If readable, your answer is yes. Look it over. If it is blank or totally unreadable, you can say no extractable data. If part of the image is readable, even if it's a small part, click on yes. This record should be indexed. Then you just go ahead and index the parts that are readable and enter unreadable or Control U on the parts that you cannot read. If you have duplicate records, mark one of them as no duplicate image, but they have to be the same on every line. If a line is different, then each record needs to be indexed separately, and you would say yes to each one. If you are extracting information for one person or record off 2 images, that is, the name and age are on image 1 and the birth date is on image 2, but both images are needed to complete the information on the record or person. Mark the second page as no extractable data, because the information on the second page is included on the first page. On your project instructions found here and here, they will give you a picture or example of the thing you should be indexing. Sometimes a record unrelated to the title of the project comes through, and if it does, you don't want to index it. In other words, you might be doing a census records and a marriage record is seen. Click on No Extractable Data for the marriage record. The marriage record belongs in marriage record batches. Here's an example of 10 images with one record or person on each image. When you see an asterisk here on the things you're typing in, it means it is a required field and you have to put in the required information. If there is no information, mark it blank from here, or you can click on Control B, or if unreadable, you can click here or click on Control U. I just want to touch on the 3 words above the toolbar. Under Batch, you can do a quality check, submit it or return it if you didn't want to index it, or go back to web indexing to pick out another batch. Under Data Entry, you can choose how you want to enter data, across or down, or see international characters. You can check or uncheck Show Toolbar. Uncheck it if you need more room on your screen, such as working on an iPad. Click on Show Ruler to keep your place on a project, or uncheck it if you don't need it. And Show Reference Images icon refers to showing images before and after the one you're working on. Under Help, you can go directly to the Help field, or the project instructions, or the basic indexing guidelines, or see keyboard shortcuts. Help resources will take you back to Get Help menu, and you can go to the Learning Center or the Help Center. You can open a shared batch or share a batch with someone else. Let's look at Labs. By clicking on Labs, you will have access to a help menu for each page. Make sure this box Active is checked to activate it, and then click on F5 to refresh your browser to see the feature at work. Uncheck to disable this feature. So when you're indexing a page, clicking on the word Tips, a menu box comes up and you can take a guided tour of this page, or add or delete entries, or ask a question in the indexing community. This toolbar is very similar to the previous version of indexing. You don't have to memorize these, just hover your mouse over each icon and it will tell you what it does. When you click on Add a Record, you can choose how many records you want added and where you want the record inserted, before the first record, after the current record, or after the last record. That is handy, especially if you're working on a census record and you realize you've left somebody out. And if they gave you too many records, you would click on the garbage can to delete the record. In this mini toolbar, you can zoom in or out with that plus and minus sign, or use the wheel of your mouse. This box allows you to rotate the image. Here you can adjust the image's brightness and contrast, or invert the colors. This icon allows you to split your screen. This allows you to see the images before and after the one you're currently working on. The one you're currently working on is in the middle between the brackets. Click on any image you want to see before and after the batch. This is helpful if you're trying to decipher handwriting and need to see more examples, or if you're working with a double-page record. This is a Kansas State Census record and an example of how you would use the split screen function found here. This is a two-page image, meaning there is information on both pages that need to be indexed for one person or record. I have indexed line 7 for Thomas Schroeder. The name and birth date is on the first image, and the birth state is found on the second image. So I brought the first page up on the left and the second page up on the right. This is also an example of answering no to the second page when it asks, should this image be indexed? Because it is included in the first image. If you needed more examples of handwriting help, looking at before and after images could be helpful. Click on the image you want to see and it will come up on the right side. Your project instructions will tell you all this. After you finish a batch, click on Submit Batch and it will automatically do a quality check to make sure all the fields have been filled out. This little box comes up saying, No issues found, and Submit Batch. Or it might point out a field you left blank. If so, fill it out, then click on the Submit Batch. This screen comes up with fireworks, a thank you, and would you like to do a similar batch or another batch of anything. Let's say I'm having a hard time reading something on this record, or just want another opinion, or I want to teach someone how to index this record. I would want to consider sharing a batch with someone. You have to be in a batch to see the transfer tabs, which are under the Help tab. Open up a shared batch or share a batch. If you want to share a batch with someone, you can click here. It will bring up this screen, and you can do one of two things. You can copy and paste this URL in an email to the person you want to share with, or you can send them this 7-digit number to their phone. If you were to share a batch with Mary and wanted to use the code, she would go into the web indexing and click on Open Shared Batch. This box comes up and Mary would enter the code you shared with her over the phone, then click on the word Open. If you sent her an email, she would simply click on the web link and be able to see this batch after she signs into FamilySearch. Opening up a shared batch with Mary, she will not be able to see any new information you type in here in the form entry. But if Mary hits the refresh button, 5F on her keyboard, she will see the information you put in. Mary can type in things as well, but hers will not be saved or submitted. You cannot see anything Mary types in. Only the things you put in will be saved and submitted. Mary will get this pop-up to remind her of this when she first goes in. Indexing is a quick, easy way for young and old alike to be involved for a great cause. If you can read and punch a key on the keyboard, you can help with indexing. Wherever you happen to be, if you have an iPad or laptop with you, you can do indexing. Whether you have 10 minutes or an hour, you can make a significant contribution. This concludes this presentation. Thanks for watching and have a great day.